Hey, my name's Hector, here with Everything Jazz. Today we have a real treat for you. I'm here with the Blue Note pianist, Paul Cornish. Hello, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, yeah, good, thank you. Good. Welcome to London.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You played a show last night at Ronnie's. How did it go? Good?
Amazing. I way better than I ever could have thought.
That's great. That's always a positive, right?
For sure.
That's your first date, right, on your tour, celebrating your new album. Which is called You're Exaggerating, and has just been released on Blue Note Records. Can you tell me a little bit behind the title? Why is it called You're Exaggerating?
Absolutely. I knew this question would be coming when I named it so. It's really, well, there are two sides to it. There's the light-hearted part of, like, I feel like this generation, a lot of times we'll say, like, oh, that's cap. Like, there's just a lot of hyperbole. But also, I guess on a more serious note, kind of doing a lot of self-reflection and really kind of asking myself, like, what is actually real? What is the truth? Because I feel like we get told so much. We have way more access to information than ever before. And so many things are just perception. Your reality is your perception. So it's really taking a look at everything in front of us and asking us what's real and where's the humanity in all of it.
You went to school in Houston, to HSPVA, which is now called Kinder School for Performing Arts.
Yes.
It seems to be like a breeding ground of talent. Can you sort of explain what it was like to go to that school and work with other musicians who have now gone on to do big and amazing things as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really nothing like it. It kind of felt like an incubator of just creative talent at like kind of the pivotal point in our lives where we're really kind of discovering who we are as people. But yeah, I went to school with people like James Francis and Jeremy Dutton, and then some of the alumni are people like Robert Glasper, Jace Moran, and you see their names on the wall when you walk in, but then they also came back to the school while we were there. So I feel like you have no choice but to be inspired and inspire. But it also gave you a sense that it was achievable. You know, the fact that someone was right there in the same classroom and got to where they got to, you can do it too.
Yeah, amazing. And also like Robert Glasper, Jason Moran, I mean, I mean, if you're gonna, I mean, that's pretty amazing. That's
Exactly.
pretty amazing. So out of many applicants, you were selected by Wayne Shorter and Herbie Hancock for a fellowship at Hancock's Institute of Jazz. What did that cosign mean to you?
Cosign is a funny word because I like, you know, in my very, how do you say it, like self-destructive mind, I feel like they, you know, they might have made a mistake, but either way, you know, I got in, it means the world. Like at the audition process is crazy because it's a very small room. And as soon as you walk in, there's a table to the right of you, and it's like Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, Ambrose Akinmusere right next to you. And I always joke with people that I feel very fortunate because playing piano, a lot of times your back is to the audience. So I didn't have to stare at them the whole time we're playing. I feel like that allowed me to kind of lock in a little bit. But no, that's like the dream of playing this music. You know, you meet the masters and then, you know, they guide you along the way. So it's special.
Yeah, amazing. And also, again, Herbie Hancock. I mean, if we're talking about Robert Glasper being a legend, Herbie Hancock is so far beyond. But can you talk about the influence of Jerry Allen on your own piano playing?
Absolutely. I'll never forget when I first heard her music. I was at a camp, and a great bassist named Harish Raghavan, he did a whole presentation about her music and played the music of this album called Homegrown. And I just remember being completely blown away by what I heard. Like, I'd never heard anyone really play piano like that. And I was telling people in the crowd last night, I feel like it was exactly everything I was trying to do, like attempting and failing to do. But she had done it in such a amazing and kind of free way that it kind of gave me a guiding light to my artistry now.
Amazing. I mean, so can you explain, is there a way that Jerry Allen plays that is completely unique to Jerry Allen?
Absolutely. I mean, so I think you kind of got to point to her influences. Like, I think she was kind of uniquely placed in history in the sense that she grew up in Detroit, so there's all that influence of like Motown that she like literally like grew up in, and then she also studied like she was an ethnomusicologist. She did her master's on ethnomusicology, so she studied like West African traditions. But then when she moved to New York, she was playing with like Ornette Coleman. She played with like Betty Carter, and so she's kind of like this unique like gumbo pot, if you will, of just like these very strong identities, and but they work together in a way that's seamless in her voice.
Can you talk about the influence of Robert Glasper?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I got introduced to his music at a time when I was just learning what jazz was, and I couldn't really find myself in the music yet, because like, you know, I feel like everyone points to like, you know, Bill Evans, like Oscar Peterson, McCoy Tyner, and I just could not play like that at all. Like I didn't have any technique, but I was also coming from a very like rhythmic background. I wanted to be a drummer, and I also loved like hip hop. So I feel like when I heard Robert Glasper's music, I was like, oh, like you can do that on the piano, like, and I don't know. I still didn't have the technique to play the stuff he was playing, but I feel like I found my way in. Like, okay, I can come from a more rhythmic standpoint. I can play like a drummer. I can get more into like polyrhythms. I can get more into like chords. You know, it was just a different like access point. I feel like that brought me into the music.
Amazing. Okay, so can you talk about the influence of classical music on your playing as well? So, I mean, Bach or Stravinsky, or you know, who is the classical musician who influenced you the most? Also, this is the most London thing as well that you're ever going to see.
It's also very Texas. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. I suppose that makes sense. Yeah, it's probably even more Texas than it is London, right?
Yeah. I don't want to take it from you.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Sorry. So that's just really distracting. Yeah, can you talk about the influence of classical music on your
Absolutely.
playing?
I've always loved classical music. I started on classical music. My mom has a deep love for classical music and opera. I remember hearing Firebird by Stravinsky in my high school theory class, and similar to when I first heard Jerry Allen, it was more like an explosion of like discovery. Just the sound of it, I feel like is just some of the most incredible music ever created by human beings. And Bach, especially as I get older, what he was able to do, especially at the time he existed, I'm still trying to wrap my head around. So yeah, but I feel like everything's all related. Like at the end of the day, you know, music is kind of, I look at a lot of it like architecture of like, you have this space, you have this structure, and like, how do you fill that space? And I feel like I'm very fortunate, and I get to look at all my influences in that way of like filling the space.
Mm-hmm. It's also, I mean, classical music as a whole is when you talk about like architecture, it's pretty much the foundation of all music as we know it, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's fascinating. Okay, you're playing in Joshua Redman's current band. The new album has featured a direct shift towards sort of younger musicians like yourself. How is it playing with someone like as legendary as Joshua Redman? How is it playing with that?
Man, it's incredible. It's, you know, like kind of like what we spoke about with you know, Mr. Herbie Hancock and Wayne Shorter, is that's when you get into this music, that's what you dream about, getting to, you know, rub shoulders with people like that, especially joining their bands. So it's an absolute honor to play with someone like Josh Redman, and especially for the fact that he's very generous. He's not a type of leader that, you know, dictates everything we have to do. He very much is also taking in what we bring to the music, and so I couldn't really ask for more in a situation. So.
Yeah. So he gives you your freedom to express yourself in a way that you would like to, as opposed to in a way that he would want you to, right?
Yeah, but he also sets the standard of like, you know, like this is the level. But he leads by example.
So what does it mean to you? So you've released your debut album on Blue Note Records. If you look at the lineage of jazz pianists who have been on Blue Note Records, what does it mean to you to be releasing with such a historic label?
Man, it's special. Yeah, I feel like, again, yeah, it's such a big part of this music. You know, you kind of can't avoid Blue Note Records. So it's a tremendous honor to be part of that legacy and to try to contribute to the lineage, because I feel like it's already given so much to me and many people.
Yeah. But you're also part of a sort of new wave of artists being released on Blue Note that sort of, it's taking that history, but then also giving it sort of a contemporary sort of feel and a contemporary sort of vibe, which I think is, you know, Blue Note are one of the only people who are really pushing that sort of side of things. So I think it's, genuinely incredible, and also the album you have made is genuinely incredible as well. So it's, we're lucky. Okay, now the last question is the hardest question. And I'm going to put you on the spot here, but if you had to pick your favourite jazz piano album of all time, you can maybe do a top 3 if you really can't decide.
I might have to do top 3, look.
Or top 23. I don't know, like how hard is it going to get?
I mean, if we really want to get, you know, because I like different ones for different reasons. So it's tough. I mean, I feel like one I gotta mention is Live at the Pershing by Ahmad Jamal. That's just like classic. Like everyone's probably gonna say that, but it really had a profound impact on me. Like the way Ahmad Jamal uses space, I felt very seen because I'm not a very, especially at that time, I wasn't a very talkative person. So I was like, you can be silent in music and be valid. So that one, 21 by Jerry Allen. It's an underrated record. It's her, Tony Williams, Ron Carter. So that's up there.
Well, it's a pretty legendary trio as well. Like, I mean, if you get if you're a pianist and get to choose to play with 2 people,
right,
that's quite a good lineup.
Yeah, but like it's the way I think she pushes them as well. Like people don't talk about that because like of course everyone's used to that rhythm section with like Miles Davis and where Herbie at piano, but like, you know, check it out. Just saying, check it out. Number 3 is tough because I'm just gonna leave stuff out. Man, there's one I really love, and you actually can't find it on streaming. You can only find it on Bandcamp, I think. But it's a new one from a few years ago that Jason Moran put out called "The Sound Will Tell You." I think that's one of the best. Oh, okay. It's a tie.
Yeah,
it's a tie.
go for it. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Sound Will Tell You by Jason Moran and Solo Game by Sullivan Fortner. That's the one I was forgetting. That's the one we waited this long for me to say. Solo Game by Sullivan Fortner, but also Sound Will Tell You by Jason Moran. Those two, you can't go wrong. And they're completely different. Hey, I'm Paul Cornish. I'm here with Everything Jazz.